What's going on, Feed the Beasters? JD here with the next episode of JD Plays Feed the Beast Infinity Evolved on Expert Mode. And we've got a new to-do list up in the top right corner. As you can see, today we're going to get started on making a few more utility items. We're going to start off with a wrench. I probably should have had that before the dolly. And then we're going to make a dolly. And I should have everything, I hope, right here in this container so that we can go through this stuff fairly quick compared to usual. So I'm not having to bump around quite as much, because I want to get into some Agricraft and talk about that and spend a little time on it. So the first wrench we're going to make is the Crescent Hammer. It's a very simple wrench. We'll make some more advanced wrenches down the road, but for the moment, this one will do. It takes 3 iron ingots and 1 tin ingot in the shape of a Y, and that gives us our first wrench. Da-na-na-na. I need to get that little sound bite, so whenever I knock something off the to-do list, I can just play that. Da-na-na-na from Zelda. Alright, so there we go. We got that done. Next thing I want to knock out is going to be a dolly. A dolly is a bit annoying. It's mostly annoying because we need to use a bunch of obsidian. And, yeah, diamonds. So we're going to take 16 obsidian and 4 diamonds. We're going to throw them in here. And you're going to get 2 per craft on each of these. We need a total of 7, so we're going to have 1 left over, I think. I could be wrong. We're going to take those bad mama gems, and for that we're actually going to have to go inside the house. I hadn't considered that part. Got some cactus greens been cooking up, so we're going to let that cook up right quick. And just for the sake of saving time, we're going to split this in half and put that there and there. Okay. So that's getting that done. Now, I also would like, during this episode, while we're crafting the dolly, and there's other parts that we're going to craft while we're waiting on that stuff to come up, I'm wanting to get done a Redstone Engine, and then we're going to get into Agricraft after that. The other parts that we're going to need for the dolly, now what we're making right now are these, refined hardeners. The refined hardener comes from cooking this. So we need 3 of these, along with 5 iron ingots and a single hardened mesh to make 5 stabilized metal. To get the hardened mesh, we need 4 more and some fences. So we can make the other components while we wait. So let's go ahead and take 16 of these. Not 16 of these, 6 of these. And throw them in here and get some fences. There we go. And we'll do that part in a moment. We'll set these to the side. I probably should have actually saved that recipe. We make that recipe quite a bit. Next, let's go ahead and do these weighted pressure plates. Okay? So weighted pressure plates are just 2 iron ingots. We'll knock out 2 of those right quick. So those pieces are going to go there. We've got the 2 sticks that we're going to be needing. They're here and here. That makes up the back end. So now we need to do the barrel. And the barrel is what these parts consist of. Or consists of these parts, I should say. I don't know if this wood is going to work, but I'm hoping it does. There we go. This is tiger wood. We'll talk about that in a bit. But there's just a Java Better barrel. And that's going to sit right in the middle there. Now we're going to slide all this stuff to the side. So there's everything for our dolly minus the one component, which should be done cooking at this point. There we go. And there we go. Beautiful. Let's get back out here right quick. And we will take, so what did we need again? Let's take a look. So we're going to make this mesh, and that's going to need the fences. We're going to need 5 of those. So put those in an X, and then across, and there's our mesh. Run 3 across the bottom. Grab some extra ingots right here. Run them around, and there's our stabilized metal. Now, we will need to cook at least one of these stabilized metals. There we go. We'll wait for one of those to complete, and we'll leave the rest in here to cook because we'll use them later. These wheels are actually useful also for making turtles. And I will definitely be making some turtles. So, there's the one we need. Let's drop this in, put this around it. And that gives us our reinforced wheel. Okay, so with everything there, let's spit some stuff out right quick so we can hold everything. Grab 2 sticks, grab this, and grab that. And we should be good to now make our dolly. Now the dolly is super important to us right now because until we can get a powered wrench, it's the only way we can really move these IC2 machines. We can right click on them to pick them up and it will slow us down. It gives us a debuff of slowness and mining fatigue. But then we can drop them off where we need to without breaking those machines. So the dolly is extremely important to us early game for being able to move IC2 machines around. Piece of advice, if you happen to be dealing with a nuclear reactor from IC2, you can move the reactor, but make sure that you don't leave anything inside of the reactor component-wise and use the dolly. You will lose your components. Okay? So let's go ahead and knock dolly off of the to-do list now. So there's that done. And we're going to promote Redstone Engine to the top of the list right quick. So let's get the Redstone Engine done next. Okay? Redstone Engine is pretty simple. It takes 3 planks, a basic circuit board, some copper gears, and a sticky piston. Circuit board comes from the carpenter with 10 and 6 redstone dust. So right here I've got my carpenter. I've already hooked it up to power. It does take RF to run a carpenter. Put your tin in the center, and that's a ghost recipe. Put your redstone alongside of it. This works very similar to a thermionic fabricator. And it will power up. We will need water in it. I almost forgot. What did I do with my bucket? Still in here? I was making obsidian a moment ago. So let's go get some water right quick. Put this bucket of lava back in here. And if you notice, I've grown my bushes up. These bushes are actually planted below the ground, 3 blocks. That way, they cannot grow any taller than what they are right now. So that's fancy schmancy. Alright, and it has a little indicator right here how much water is inside of it. Water's in, so it's going to make this basic capacitor, or circuit board, I'm sorry, and we'll pull that out. Beautiful. Now, the sticky piston, everybody pretty much knows how to make a sticky piston. It's pretty easy. Green slime. You can use substitute glue balls and other things on here like blood, I think, to make your sticky piston. Piston itself, I would assume you know the recipe, but if you happen to not know the recipe for a piston, it's just 3 wood planks, some cobble, iron ingot, and redstone. Alright, so I've already made my copper gears. Everybody knows how we make copper gears. We did that last time. So there's your piston. Here's this, and now we just need 3 planks. We've got those right here. And here's our redstone engine. Now, why we wanted the redstone engine comes back to this little setup we had going over here yesterday where I was trying to handle, all of my creosote that I'm producing now. And where did my handy dandy mattock go? There it is. Oh, it does require a pickaxe. I'm stupid. Pickaxe. There we go. Alright, so now that we have this redstone engine, we can actually come right here, hook up a wooden tube, and we don't even need the gold tube, technically. We can put a redstone engine on top of it, just like this, and until we get a better method, attach a lever, turn the engine on. It's going to start to pump, and it will heat up, and it will begin to pump faster over time. And what it's now doing is it is pumping creosote out of here. If there's storage in the tank, it'll store it in the tank. Otherwise, it's going to pump it into this trash can, and we're going to get rid of it. So I can now cook all the coal coke I need without having to worry about having to deal with the creosote overflow, which is good because we're not using creosote right now. So for the time being, this is our new pumping mechanism to keep our coke oven running. We'll change this out later when we get to better flux ducts and stuff, but this works for very early game. Okay? You could also store it in a tank and hold a lot more of it, but we don't want it. We don't need it for anything. So this is a very old-fashioned method. These were the pipes that, way back when FTB started, these were the pipes we used. And we use these redstone engines. I could attach more redstone engines to get this to pump quicker, but we don't really need it to pump fast. We just need it to pump. And so that's done, and we don't have to worry about that anymore. Now, let's get that marked off of our to-do list. And we'll give it the little da-na-na-na. which leaves us with two things on our to-do list for today's episodes. And that is Agricraft and the Agricultural Journal, which technically Agricultural Journal is part of Agricraft. But before we get started on all that business, I want to, well, hello. So you'll see that I've begun building a lot of farmland out here. What's going on, guy? Get away. Go away. No. I don't want to be your friend. I need a sword. I think my sword's in the house. Let me go get it. I don't know where my good sword is, but you'll work. Come here, Gideon. Where'd you go, buddy? Yeah. Got owned. Anyway, so today, while I was supposed to be working on other things, I started kind of doing some clearing and laying down some farmland. Now, these are how I like to lay my farms out. This is a 9 by 9 square with one square missing from the middle that has water in it. It will keep everything irrigated. There are other options, especially with Agricraft, in which you do not need to irrigate your land in this manner, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Currently, I have a few crops planted here. There are a 3 by 3 section of industrial hemp, of cotton, and of cotton. This is Pam's Harvest Craft. This is Natura. This is Immersive Engineering. Those all produce string. This produces hemp. We then have potatoes, carrots, and even though I really don't use it too often, I went ahead and planted some barley just for completeness. And then I have a full field of wheat. Eventually, one of these two fields is going to be soybeans so that we can make my favorite cheeseburgers. And I've gone ahead and captured a few animals. I've got some blank faces sitting right here, what you guys may call sheep. I've got some bacon sitting over here, or what you guys may call pigs. And even though you can't see them, down here, we have some of my and your favorite animals in the forms of cattle, also known as cattle. But they're hiding right now because they're mad at me because I stuck them underground. But, we'll clean all that up later and we'll make a little stairway and a path. We can go down into here and see the cows. This is a tigerwood tree. And I harvested this many, many times today. I happened to find this when I was clearing out a mountain that used to be right here. There was a tigerwood sitting over here. I chopped it down. I got a sapling along with a bunch of other saplings. And I planted it over and over and harvested it over and over until I had quite a few saplings. I don't know what I did with all those saplings, but now I can grow tigerwoods. And they're cute, cuddly little trees. On that note, we did do some upgrades to the tools. I know I said I was not keeping these tools permanently, and I'm not going to keep them permanently, but for the time being, since I am going to be using them, I did upgrade them a bit. So the stone excavator now has auto repair 3 and has a durability of 50% on it, which means I did add one additional upgrade modifier to it because it was cheap, and I said, why not? The axe is a little bit more intense. It's got haste and an emerald and a diamond, so it's got pretty good durability, and it works like super fast, super nice. We just kind of come and I don't want to use it here because it's going to break that fence, but I'm going to do it anyways. So yeah, oh, it didn't break the fence. It's amazing. But yeah, it chops things down with the quickness. It's pretty awesome. And then all the leaves break down and it's glorious. But this is what a tigerwood sapling looks like. Right here. So it's pretty cool. I don't know why these leaves are not breaking. There we go. Alright. So, I've got a few things planted over here. I've got this line of lily pads to run alongside my sugar cane. And right here I've got water artichokes that I found for a witchery, which we'll be making use of that in due time. I don't know why all the blank face around this area like to swim, but they swim constantly or they climb trees. They're very amazing little sheeples. And there's also some tree climbing cattle, as you can see. The animals in this part of the world are very strange, and I hope to harness their abilities of climbing trees and permanently swimming in the water and never dying. We'll see if we can do that at some point. Other things that I've done today around the base besides that are obviously planting some melon and pumpkin crops, as well as expanding the actual land outwards. I've added in a cherry tree, and I've gotten rid of some of my rubber trees and put in an apple tree. And this apple tree happened to blossom forth with a metric ass ton, pardon my language, kids, I won't cuss you in this episode if I can help it, of apples for our consumption. We still have some rubber trees over here for when we need it, and we still have our makeshift hodgepodge tunnel right here that needs to be cleaned up and done better, but hey, it does its job for the time being. So that is where we are, and we've got some utility done, and it's time to talk about Agricraft. So before we talk about Agricraft, I want to drop. Oh, I've done some organization in here. I forgot about that. So I've got stone and stuff over here, and I've got more of these item frames telling me what's where, so I don't get lost quite as quickly on what I've got and where it needs to go. And I've kind of got some wood stockpile starting to go, so that's nice. Now, what's in here? Nothing. Perfect. Drop everything off in there. That's great. Let's put some stuff in here that we don't need. So for Agricraft, I want to empty my bags out a little bit, and we'll come back and pick up these tools here in a little while, in case I do need them. Shouldn't need that. Shouldn't need that. Shouldn't need that. Okay. This is the majority of stuff we're going to need from Agricraft, along with this stuff, and not that. Nope. A little bit. Okay, cool. So this one, yeah. So let's just pick these chests up and take them with us. And we'll also take this. And let's go ahead and get this agricultural journal knocked out right quick that we have on the screen right here. So let's pull that up. The agricultural journal is pretty easy. It takes a book and quill, which is a book, a feather, and a ink sac. And we combine that with some crop sticks and some seeds. It doesn't matter what seeds, just as long as we have 4 seeds, okay? So, let's see, I should have, yeah, I want to use stuff that I've got multiples of. We've got plenty of crops, but what we'll do is we'll grab a book. I've got a ink sac and a feather. Okay, so let's get that done first. So the book, ink sac, and feather, and that gives me my book and quill, okay? Take it easy, Aha. And then we'll head right over here. I'm getting a little bit hungry. Do I have any food on me? Probably not. That's okay. We got food right over here. We'll gobble down some carrots. You shut your mouth, piggies. These are my carrots. I'm going to eat them right in front of y'all. Oh, they're so good. Such yummy carrots. Alright, I'll feed y'all a carrot. Why not? Go make a baby. What's up, blank faces? Y'all want some carrots? Here you go. Okay. Now, let's put these boxes down here to work with them. Actually, we'll put them down right here. And let's see here. It is definitely not fluffy. Alright. Now, with Agricraft, the seeds work a little different than normal. So, we are able, if you'll notice, we've got several seeds here that are unidentified. That is where this book and quill come into play, and that is where we need to get some seeds. I don't know if regular seeds work, but we're going to find out real quick. They might. So let's take those 4 seeds. And I don't have a crafting table out here, but we can correct that right quick. So there's that, and we'll drop this down right here will work. So we've got crops galore. Let's take 4 of those. Punch these in here. I think that's right. Is that correct? Yeah. Throw those down, and I don't know if regular seeds are going to work. They do, so there's our agricultural journal. Our agricultural journal, if I can say that correctly. Oh, we can do the da-na-na-na thing and go knock that off the to-do list. So let's knock that out. So that just leaves us talking about Agricraft now. The agricultural journal is basically our tracking of Agricraft seeds. It gives us a brief instruction on how we can do things together. And the idea is we want to take this and combine it with a seed analyzer. Now, a seed analyzer, it's very easy to make. A single glass pane, 3 sticks, a slab, and 2 blocks of some kind. And we want to put our agricultural journal inside of here. Right here is where we want to set it down. And I'm going to go sleep before mobs start spawning because I haven't lit up my farm area yet. I probably should do that soon. Dun, 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 dun. Hey, Ultav, people like that pop in the channel, feel free to use your amazing band powers. Yeah. Alright, so at this point we now have our agricultural journal. We have our seed analyzer. We're ready to start analyzing some seeds. Let's start off with these snowbell seeds. So when we put something in here, it's going to look at it, and it's going to tell us. Here's the information about it. This has a growth of 5, a gain of 2, and a strength of 7. What do those stats mean? No, I agree. I'm glad you do. So from what I understand, growth means the speed at which this crop is going to grow. Okay? Gain is the amount you're going to harvest per harvest of this item. And strength is actually the ability to resist the crop becoming weeds if your Agricraft crops begin to have weeds growing in them. An example of this. If I put down sticks like so, weeds can sprout inside there. And we'll leave that sitting for just a second to see if they do. Now what you're also going to find is that this shows that we now have one discovered seed. So if we open this up and we turn the page, we now see snowbells. Snowbells are pretty flowers that seem to freeze all the water they soak up. Tier 3, brightness range, gives an icy needle and a snowball. Here are its growth stages. Have we discovered any mutations with it? Not yet. Okay. It would be nice if this book kind of gave hints towards the mutations, but it doesn't. So we have another one of these. Let's identify this one right quick. Let's not. Let's put this in first. Alright, so here's our other one. Growth 7, gain 7, strength 1. Now that is pretty awesome. Letter Nitrox, have a great evening, buddy. Thanks for stopping by and thanks for the follow. Now we're going to get far away from that with these snowbell seeds. And we're going to do a little test. Okay, so we're going to put down a crop like this and we're going to plant a snowbell. And we're going to put down a crop like this and we're going to plant a snowbell. So these items that I just went and got are what are used to create an irrigation system. Now an irrigation system is a very simple thing, and we will somewhat demo it, maybe, if I have the stuff on me to do it. Yeah, that'll work. So these are wooden water tanks. Each one holds 8,000 or 8 buckets of water. By combining them, you notice that this now holds 32 buckets of water. And there's 48, and there we go. Now we've got 72 buckets of water can be held in here. The awesome thing about this, screw you, Old F. I don't have a good mic yet. You know this. I hate you now. The awesome thing about this is that this will also actually catch water if it happens to rain. So we can manually fill these things up with a water bucket. So let's grab a water bucket and we'll come put water inside. And it tells us how much is in there. Right now there's 6,000. And we'll just get one more for now. So there's 10,000 buckets of water in there. I tried to move my mic away from my mouth so that hopefully I'm not pedo breathing on you guys. So we can see a bit of water in here. Like I said, if it rains, we're going to get more water in here. And that's awesome. There are a few major advantages to this system. This allows us to build farms on land over there where there is no water, without having to leave this centerpiece. The other amazing thing that it does is if we take these irrigation channels, and we'll look at the recipe real quick. To make these, not usage, recipe, you just take some oak planks and make a U shape and you get your wooden water tanks. Irrigation channels, you just take 3 and you get 6 irrigation channels per. Irrigation channels are used to pull the water out of here. I need to break that one off because I didn't mean to place it there. Okay, and then the next piece, which is a sprinkler. And a sprinkler requires 1 plank, 1 ingot, 1 bucket, and 2 fences. And a sprinkler does exactly what you would expect it to do, and it will sprinkle the ground. I don't know if it works when the ground is like the way it is right now, or if I have to turn it off or on. I don't have enough water, I don't guess, to run it. Let's find out. Let's put more water in there. I've never used these. I just learned how to use these today. I just know that this is how they're supposed to function. So let's find out. Maybe I need to have like a sub bucket underneath them where it can all flow down into. It may even take a redstone signal. Like I said, I've never used these, so I don't know. I usually do this a different way. Man. I wonder, can we do this? Does it allow it to fall through? Maybe? No? Okay. Anyway. I wonder why I'm not getting any weeds there either. Yeah, I suppose I could break. You have to be careful with breaking these. I think if you break it, it produces a source block of water. Let's see. Let's have my bucket handy and let's try to break one and see what happens. So it did indeed. Uh-oh. It kind of screwed things up, it looks like. It broke these all into individual tanks now. That's not good. Well. There we go. Okay, once it gets full enough, there you go. So the sprinkler is now working, and it's sprinkling all the ground around it. Hurrah. Now this works just like a watering can. And it will actually encourage them to speed up their growth. It will also irrigate any soil that it touches. So that's how the irrigation system from Agricraft works. Okay, now while we're waiting on these things to grow, I don't plan on using this irrigation system. I mostly was just going to show it off. I may use it like underground or something sometime. And you can see that these have reached stage 2. They're at 57%. And we're going to wait for those to get to full. Now, another way that we can kind of manually get this done is using the Open Blocks watering can. Or extra utilities, I'm sorry. And for this watering can, you need steel, a bowl, some bone meal, and then you need a beet seed, a corn seed, and a kiwi seed. Okay? Well, I happen to have a kiwi seed and a beet seed. And somewhere in here, I have a corn seed. Right there. Corn seed. Because I was prepared. There is an Enderman stealing my stuff. I don't like you, Enderman. You're probably going to kill me. But and he's gone. He took my grass and he left. He fell in the water. I saw him run that way. Son of a bastard. Okay. Let's go ahead and identify these seeds. So the corn seed comes back with a 7 growth, strength 3. So it should grow fast. The kiwi seed, 342. Okay. And the beet seed, 644. Wow, that's impressive. Now, there, look at that, look at that. Suckers are growing. And we would expect that this one grows faster. It has a growth of 7. This only has a growth of 5. So that's awesome. So that thing's growing right along. Your maximum stats on these things are going to be level 10. Now, from what I understand, if you plant something and then set up another crop right next to it, it should spread to it. We're going to test that theory. This thing waters forever. It's amazing. We're going to get some more of these sticks. And we're going to do the same thing here with the corn seed. And where did those seeds? There we go. Yes, Ultav puts out a good point. They must be fully grown. And my weeds finally sprouted, so that's good. So we'll break these off till they are fully grown because I wasn't thinking about that. So this is what weeds look like. And weeds will spread to any crops nearby if they have the opportunity. There is a way to stop the weeds from spreading in Agricraft. And that is by using a rake. Okay, so you can do that. I don't really care too much for the rake. I usually just break the sticks and get them back. But it does save you from having to do rakes. Now, this guy is fully grown. He's matured. It can be harvested, but we're going to wait. We're going to wait for this one to grow as well. And let's go grab some Z's while we're waiting. I don't think I have any bones right now, but let's check. Do I have any bones or bone meal? Let's check our hunter's pack. Okay, I don't. So I'll need to find a skeleton at some point and get some bones or some bone meal. Okay, that thing finally stopped. Let's I got an idea, but it's probably a bad idea. Now, what I really need right now is a watering can, and that's why I want those things over there to grow. Because once those grow, we can get our watering can, and that's going to speed this entire process up. And I probably should have thought about that before starting this section, but you know, it's me, and this is how we do things when it's me. So we'll just pull the water from all these other boxes, whatever you want to call them. There we go. All right. Okay, these two are mature. That's perfect. We can now take these, and since they're the same plant, what should happen between them is to give us another of the same plant. Only it should gain, hopefully, stats from the two of these and improve its stats. This is growing, that's growing, that's growing. I probably should have planted those over here under the sprinkler. It would have been intelligent. But I'm not doing intelligent things today, guys and girls. I'm just blowing and going. Alright, while we're waiting, we're going to go ahead and identify some more of these seeds. So these are the Botania Magical Flower Seeds. So this will let us grow our Botania flowers if we want to. And Agricraft has a lot of, there we go, we've got new snowbell seeds growing right here. There's a lot of cross-mod compatibility in Agricraft. I should have gone and gotten myself some overalls and a farmer skin for this. Alright. So, then we'll just set down some sticks for these bad boys. And we'll do... Wait. This has to be planted on podzol. I don't have podzol. So I can't grow those here. I should have thought about checking that before I did it. But, so we know what those are sitting with now. We'll need to get podzol if we want to actually grow them. Those are identified. And we'll go ahead and identify these others just to get that done. This guy's growing up nicely. At this point I can go ahead and harvest these because this is growing now. And you harvest snowballs, as you can see. So this is a great source of snowballs. And one of them gave me one and the other one gave me three. Well, I would expect that the one that gave me three to be this one usually, and this one to give me one because it's only got a gain of 2. Although I might not even have those stats right because I'm still learning this mod, guys. Alright, so those guys are all done now. Now we've got some water artichokes here. Let's go ahead and weigh in on those right quick. 225. Now artichokes are handled a little differently, and some seeds are. That's a nice one, 773. How are we doing over here? 71%, 28%, 57%. Nice. We can actually kind of start talking a little bit about witchery right here with these water artichokes. So if you haven't noticed, you have a bunch of icons over here on the left. One of these icons, this one, that's the second one from the top, is a guide. And this guide is to help you get started in the expert mode if you haven't figured that out yet. It'll tell you how to get started in the tech tree. It'll also tell you how to get started in the magic tree. It'll give you some tips and it'll give you some admin stuff. The magic tree is going to be kind of important, especially for witchery and the likes. To get started in witchery, you're going to need to get some seeds, some different seeds put together. So we're going to need to take this water artichoke and we're going to need to combine it with a regular seed to hopefully get a mandrake seed. Now I think I've already got a mandrake seed somewhere. Let me check. Yeah, right here. I've already got mandrake seeds. So technically I don't need to do that. But I'm going to show you how it's done just for once again the sake of completeness. To do something that is a water-based plant, you would take your tilled or your tilled ground, harvested farmland, whatever, and right click it a second time, and it's going to create this water pad. Then you pour some water in it, just like this. Now from here, you put sticks on it, and we can plant the water artichoke. And I'm already getting weeds in there that quickly. So be ready to fight your weeds. So let's get the water artichoke in there. So there's the water artichoke. Now on the other side is where we want just a regular seed. So here's a seed. And might want to check right quick. This can be used to create mandrake. It can be done on farmland. It can also be done on hummus. So NEI is going to tell you how these things can be mutated. We can also take a water artichoke and a mandrake seed and get belladonna. Okay, so let's put down this, and let's put down our regular seed in there for just a second. Now this thing is growing really slow. This thing's already almost up and ready to go again. What's up, Mr. Ghost? Welcome to the stream, buddy. Alright, now as far as belladonna goes, like I said, I've already got mandrake. Well, it also happens that I already have belladonna, so I'm not going to have to make that. In all actuality, I was able and fortunate enough to find all of the witchery seeds so that I did not have to breed them if I don't want to. But breeding them is not a difficult challenge. And there we go. So the types of seeds you're going to need to get started with witchery whenever you get ready to go down that route. And we'll go down that route eventually. You're going to need a water artichoke. You're going to breed that water artichoke with wheat seeds or just regular seeds to get mandrake. You're going to breed the mandrake with the water artichoke to get belladonna. And then you're going to breed the mandrake and the belladonna to get ice cap. So I've already got all 4 of those, so I don't actually have to do this part. You can find them as well by raiding villages. Especially look for the villages that have farms in them. That's where I got all of my seeds. There are other witchery seeds, including wolfsbane, which I have 2 of right here. Let's go ahead and get those identified. And I think if I pull out my book right now, take a look here real quick. If we open this up, yeah, so once you find the various seeds, it will tell you what you can use to mutate to get to them. But it's kind of silly because at that point you've already got them, but it does actually show you, the different mutations that can get it. That will get it for you. And I forget, you don't have to pull the book out. You can look at it from right here. Okay, so this was our new one. This one's finally done. So we can harvest it and pull it off, and we'll go analyze that new seed. Let's take a look at that new seed and see what stats it got. 664. Okay, so its parent seeds were a 771 and a 527. It ended up being a 664. I kind of like it better than I like this one. So I'm going to pop this one out. And I'm going to put the 664 one down. And let it grow and then try to breed it with this one to get an even better seed. The idea is eventually you want to try to get 10, 10, 10 seeds. And that's your maximum production seeds. Now we've got a corn crop that's ready to go. Let's harvest that. And with corn, you can pop it right back in here and pull the seed out. Now this seed is not like that seed. If you notice, this seed does not say unidentified. It has no stats. I think it's basically a 111. I don't even know if you can use it inside of crops. Let me look. So you can put it in there. But I think it's considered a 111. Let's find out. Yeah. So if you pull it out of the food like that, you're just going to get a 111 seed. So keep that in mind. But even a 111, you see it's fairly easy to breed these things up. I'm very surprised at how long it's taking that to grow. Let's see. I still have more? Yeah, let's do this. Let's have some. Let's get smart about this, guys. Come on now. That's not being smart at all. That's being silly. Why didn't y'all tell me to build this? Jeez. I'm not sure how much time we've spent so far. I'll take a look at that here in just a minute. But we're going to take this bucket and fill this bad mamma jamma up right quick. And let it start sprinkling this corner. So now you've got these 2 sprinklers running and they're just helping us pump out these things. Now this water artichoke right here is done. Well, hello, friend. Don't come and attack me. That's bad. Let's make a Enderman killing shelter. Look at their feet while you kill them, people. Stand under something and look at their feet while you hit them, and they won't teleport away. He stole my dirt! That son of a bitch. I don't know where he stole my dirt from, but he stole some of my dirt. Alright, let's go sleep. And I'll check the time right quick and see where we're at on the video. See if we got time to wait and make a watering can right quick. Let's see. My videos, infinity. Bam. We're at 42 minutes. I'll tell you what. You guys know what's going to go on from this point. It looks like we may have the stuff. It looks like we can do it right quick. Let's see. Alright, that's harvestable. Awesome. That's harvestable. Awesome. Perfect. Okay. So we've got a corn. There's us a kiwi. And there's a beet. Beautiful. We've got too much stuff on us. Throw that down. Okay. Come on. Take it up. Actually, I still have to go find a piece of bone meal. So let me go find a bone, and then I'll be back, and we'll make the watering can. And then we'll call it a good episode. So YouTube, I'll see you in just a bit. Alright YouTube, we're back. And we've got the stuff now to make the watering can. So let's get that knocked out. We went looking for skeletons, couldn't find any, but ended up just south of me, found a bunch of skeletons and a skelly spawner deep underground. So now I got access to a zombie spawner and a skeleton spawner. So that's kind of nice. So there's our bone meal. I've already made the bowls. The bowls are very simple. Just 3 wooden slabs and get you 4 bowls. So we take a bowl, we take a bone meal, not 2 bone meals. We take 4 steel ingots, and then our seeds. I believe it was beet, corn, kiwi, and we get a watering can. Now, before you can use said watering can, you will have to, hello Neil Moore, you will have to fill up the watering can, and then by right clicking you can use it. So as you can see right here, we have some crops that are not grown, they've just been planted. We can hold the watering can near them, and they will start to grow much faster. It's effectively like using fertilizer on stuff, and this kind of can help you to supercharge growing stuff. You see how quickly that thing went to maturity. We'll run it over here for a minute. This back left corner, he just now started growing. So this is, with a watering can, as was pointed out in my chat by Ultav a few moments ago, you can take seeds from basically no-name, nothing junk seeds to 10 of 10s fairly rapidly. So we know the seed of these two. Let's see if we can make it mutate. And actually, while we're doing that, we'll try to get a mutation here as well. So we'll try to do double mutations. We'll try to do a triple mutation. Why not? Let's see what we get here. So we're hitting all of those at once. So right here, we've got seeds growing. Right here, we've got snowbell. And right here, we've got snowbell. So we were able to mutate at the same time. We're basically just covering Agricraft right now, charged. And we'll let all these things hit full maturity, and then we'll go analyze their seeds. Alright. So this was a 773 with a 664. This was a 771 with a 664. Let's go see what these snowbell seeds came out to be. Got a bunch of ice needles out of that. That's kind of cool. Got a single snowball out of that one. Alright, let's take a look here. Seed number 1 came out to be a 784. That's an awesome seed. Seed number 2 came out to be a 332. That one's kind of crappy. And then this is our old one. So at this point, we can replace this guy if we want to, or we can replace this guy. He's got good strength. He doesn't really, but they both got 7s and an 8. I'm going to replace this one. Why not? Put down our sticks and let it grow. Now we can also check out this guy, because he's now an unidentified wheat seed. The other cool thing about Agricraft is that it doesn't just pertain, so he's just a 111 again. He's still crappy. Makes me sad in the pants. it also allows us to take things like these melons and these pumpkins. And remember, if you take a pumpkin and pop it in here, you get 4 seeds out. Melons, pop your stuff in there and get some seeds back. Although I should probably eat something. Oh no, my cherry just went away. Get some cherry juice right quick here. Boop. Actually, I shouldn't have done that. Well, we'll pick a blueberry. If you happen to have snowballs and blueberries, this works very well together. You can take your snowballs, your blueberries, and your juicer, and you can make blueberry smoothies, which are worth more. These are worth 3 full hunger versus 2.5 from these. So there's your little upper on your hunger meter. I am using the Sortex fan version pack. Now, we've got melon seeds. I've got more melon seeds somewhere. Where'd those go? Right here. So we can take these melon seeds, and because we stack, we know that they're all the same. But we can throw these in here, and now we've got all these 111 melon seeds. We can do the same thing with these pumpkin seeds. And so now we can come in here and we can see. Here's Mandrake and all of its mutations. So there are some mutations that exist between these two. And here, and here, and there, and there. Yay. Alright, so let's take and let's do we'll put melon. Actually, let's not do melon there. Let's do pumpkin there. And then we'll do melon and pumpkin. Okay. And we'll water can those up. And this is what's cool. Rather than taking up that whole block like they did before and only getting one out, these things will be self-contained right here within the block they're in. You can see those at the top. Those have already grown. And so you can grow cactuses like this. You can grow sugar cane. You can grow basically just about any type of harvestable plant like this. And then we can set up and go for quad mutations right here. And take our watering can back out. And now we're watering them all 4. Now let's look. That's weeds. That's bad. We want to get rid of those as quick as possible. The others are melon, and melon. We're going nuts with the melons here. My day has been going fantastic, other than being sick, buddy. Anyways, so that is your introduction to Agricraft. I'm sure we're going to be stepping back in and doing some more stuff with this down the road. There's still a whole lot of seeds that I have sitting there that I have not yet identified inside of these boxes. We still need to identify all these cinder pearls and netherwort. We still have orange tulip seeds. There's some more melons. I have all of these soybeans and tomato and cucumber and oats, which that's going to be used for another machine for another time, maybe next episode. So we will be doing more with Agricraft in the future, and I'll hopefully get that irrigation system set up appropriately. As always, guys, if you liked it, like it. If you'd like to see more like it, hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to hit 250 by Christmas. I'm almost there. I'm at 237. Tell your mom, tell your dad, tell your friends. Tell people to come watch me. Remember that I stream every night from 9 p.m. Central Standard Time to midnight, and sometimes a little later, especially right now over the holidays. I try to put out a new video every night at around 7 Central Standard Time, somewhere in there. Thanks for watching. You guys be good to one another. I'll see you next time. Laters.